Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Greeno Productions, making dreams reality.
The true crime community is in an uproar as backlash against YouTubers Zav and Natasha Cooper continues to escalate. The pair is facing severe criticism after allegedly charging their Patreon subscribers to view gruesome autopsy photos of Gannon Stauch, the 11-year-old boy who was tragically murdered by his stepmother. The revelation of this exploitive act has sparked outrage and condemnation from social media users who argue that profiting from such a horrific tragedy is deeply unethical. The story of Gannon Stauch's disappearance gripped the nation in January 2020, leading to a massive search effort. Ultimately, Gannon's stepmother, Natasha Zav, was accused of his murder. During the trial, the horrifying details of the crime emerged, revealing that Gannon had been stabbed 18 times before being fatally shot. Natasha allegedly concealed his lifeless body inside a suitcase. In May, she was convicted of the murder and received a sentence of life without parole, along with additional prison time for related charges. Zav and Natasha Cooper, both known for their true crime YouTube channels, have built a following by covering and discussing various cases. Zav, with over 92,000 subscribers, aims to give victims of tragic crimes a voice through her platform. Meanwhile, Natasha Cooper, with a smaller subscriber base of around 2,000, focuses on creating awareness and engaging in discussions about true crime cases. Their reputations have been tarnished following allegations that they exploited Gannon Stauch's autopsy photos for financial gain. Screenshots circulating on social media reveal a Patreon update from Cooper, announcing a live stream of crime scene and autopsy photos of Gannon Stauch, exclusively available to subscribers at the $3 level or above. So I reached out to Natasha Cooper via email and offered to pay the $3 fee. She denied any knowledge as to the items I was referring to, until I reminded her of her previous live stream just hours prior. She then advised me to file a FOIA request with the state of Colorado instead of giving her the $3 for them. I thought, fair enough, maybe she isn't doing anything whack. But then today, she posted that she will be live on part 2 showing the photos and videos to members only who've subscribed. Social media users expressed their anger and disgust at the content creators, accusing them of exploiting the tragedy of a child's murder. Twitter was flooded with condemnations, with users calling their actions despicable and exploitive. Patreon users and YouTube viewers demanded that the platforms take action against Zav and Natasha Cooper. They called for the suspension of their accounts, denouncing the exploitation of a murdered child's autopsy photos as morbid, damaging, and unethical. Responding to the public outcry, Patreon issued a statement on July 10th, confirming the removal of Zav's accounts from their platform. The situation escalated further when I reached out to both Natasha Cooper and Zav for comment. While Zav remained silent, Cooper denied any knowledge of the controversial content. However, I confronted her with evidence of her previous claims, leading to a suspicious turn of events. On July 11th, Cooper announced she would now go live to discuss part 2 of the photos and documents, exclusively available to her members. The series of events raised even more questions and intensified the scrutiny on the YouTubers, especially by me on Natasha Cooper's part. So my question to Natasha Cooper is this: if there was nothing to hide, then how come I could not become a member and receive the photos and documents?
And so yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell the mods, just block them. I have zero problem modding 3 channels at one time and being live. And
additionally, fellow true crime YouTuber Julez of All Trades True Crime has released a video criticizing Zav for her actions, further amplifying the backlash. As the story unfolds, it serves as a stark reminder of the ethical boundaries that content creators must respect, particularly when dealing with sensitive and tragic cases. The exploitation of a murdered child's autopsy photos has ignited widespread outrage, with many demanding accountability for Zavgirl and Natasha Cooper's actions. The true crime community hopes that this incident will serve as a catalyst for increased awareness and responsible content creation in the future. Zavgirl issued this statement on her YouTube community page and was torn apart by Julez of all trade true crime.
I'm honestly not shocked and surprised whatsoever that she is trying to take a victim's mentality towards this situation, because that's all she does. Every time she does something hideous in a case, she takes no responsibility. She's done it several times. There's even been instances that I had no idea about, that I've been learning about through people seeing what's happening now and leaving comments, and me reading comments on other people's videos about this, about other things that Zav has been just basically shit in.
I do understand that there are fees associated with getting documents from courts, and those can be very costly, typically from 50 cents to $1 per page. So I understand a little reimbursement for distribution in paper format, if the items were paid for and received in paper form. But if the items were obtained for free and then offered on a pay-per-view status, that would be exploitive. Although I do think that it all really could have been avoided if they had just said in some sort of disclaimer or something, or at least informed their fans and viewers, you can obtain these documents through the county clerk's office for a fee of blank, or, sometimes, most of the time, I get them for free if they're emailed to me. All of this really, it all depends on the intention of the individuals. We can't prove that either one of them had ill intent. We can't prove that. We can say it may look like it, but we can't prove that. But we can say we all really did become more aware of ethical issues and the drama of getting too involved into cases. So maybe everyone should just take a step back, take a breath, and join me next time.
Tonight on True Crime Investigates. Get ready for an explosive live stream you won't want to miss. I'm Anthony Greeno, and tonight, we're diving deep into the shocking Zavgirl, Natasha Cooper controversy in a special update, Part 3. In case you've been living under a rock, YouTube stars Zavgirl and Natasha Cooper, if you could call her a star at all, are under fire for a shocking revelation that has sent shockwaves through the true crime community. They've been accused of selling autopsy photos of Gannon Stauch, a young boy whose tragic murder captured headlines worldwide. It is a heart-wrenching case that has united the true crime community in a fight against exploitation and unethical behavior. Tonight, we're bringing you the ultimate breakdown and reaction to this controversy. Joining me is Marv, Missbehaved, and other passionate YouTube personalities and fans who are here to share their thoughts and shed light on this disturbing situation. Let's introduce the hosts. We've got Marv, the seasoned investigator with a keen eye for justice, and Missbehaved, the voice of reason who never backs down from speaking her mind. Together, we're going to dissect the Zavgirl and Natasha Cooper saga like never before. We'll be tackling the tough questions. Is it ever acceptable to profit from tragedy? How does this impact the integrity of true crime community? And most importantly, where do we draw the line? That's not all. We've reached out for comment from Natasha Cooper and Zavgirl themselves, and we're determined to get answers. Will they respond? You'll have to tune in to find out. So join us tonight on True Crime Investigates as we confront the controversy head on. Together we'll stand up for what's right, expose the truth, and ensure that justice is served. Don't miss this unmissable event.
What's going on, YouTube? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, or wherever the hell you're watching from. I'm Anthony Greeno. Welcome back to True Crime Investigates for Part 3 of the Zavgirl Natasha Cooper controversy over the Gannon Stauch autopsy photos and the video that was released through the Patreon account. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to see you. Of course, I am joined, as you've seen by the thumbnail, I am joined by two other creators that were on the stream last night as well. So there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It is Missbehaved and Marv, and we are going to be talking about last night. Before we got off the stream, we were discussing Gannon Stauch's father was going to be on News Nation. His mother made a statement, and they talked about this, and also Natasha Cooper went live to discuss her opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in our guests, ladies and gentlemen, Marv and Missbehaved. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hey, I'm glad to have you guys back. So did you guys watch what we had last night? Did you guys learn anything? Did you watch the video?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, so let me start with Missbehaved. Missbehaved, you watched the video, correct?
I did.
Okay, and your thoughts on the video now?
I think she should have just blurred out the face, personally.
Okay.
But
everything else you think is okay?
I don't think she did it disrespectfully. I don't think she did it like just to expose them. You know what I mean? And I know everyone thinks, oh, it's over. The case is over. She's in jail, whatever. But the thing about it is I would want to know every single detail. Not necessarily from a YouTuber, but from every single detail that happened. And, Letitia doesn't have the right to take that to her grave, all the details of that. If I were his father, I would want to know the details. And sometimes looking at those pictures and stuff, you see things that we all know law enforcement forgets or doesn't see stuff that some people might see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that she's taken a wrath for it. She feels bad about it. She's going to come out and speak about it, Zav is, but just not yet.
Right. Yeah, we discussed that earlier.
Yeah.
So she is going to make a statement eventually.
She's working on that now.
Yep, she's been busy, but she will make a statement.
Yeah. I think she put out warnings about it, and I think that anybody, and she let them know that what they were going to see. So anybody that went and paid for it to see it went there to see it. That's just what it is,
Yeah, they did go there to see it. They paid for it to go see it. Exactly. So Marv, did you watch the interview with the father last night and the YouTubers?
Yep, I did.
Okay. And what did you gather from that?
It's exactly what I thought it was going to be from Al. I thought the day that all the photos were shown of Gavin, he was in the courtroom, but he was not. It turns out the whole family skipped court that day purposely so they would not have to see those photos of Gannon. Right. And I think one thing we have to remember is that, yes, people paid to be part of the Patreon and to see these photos in this video. But they're not the only ones that got their hands on it. Because now it's being shared everywhere. Everywhere. So one of the things that Gannon's father said last night in that interview is, now I'm afraid to even go online because I made sure I wasn't there that day to see those pictures. Now I'm afraid to even go online because all I have to do is do a search on Gannon's name and those pictures can pop up just like this.
That's true. That's understandable.
And that's what hurts me, is they purposely.
Yeah. And that's something you didn't think about. And I wouldn't thought about.
Yeah. They purposely didn't go. Maybe one day down the road, 5 times, whenever they were ready to see them, that was their choice.
I don't think any parent ever wants to see anything like that, but.
No. Some do, some don't. But now he's basically screwed. The whole family is, because as soon as they go to search on anything online of Gannon, that's going to come up.
Yeah,
that's true. It's true. Yeah,
and I don't think that was thought of, because with the way that the information was given out, people can download that. They share it with all their friends, whoever wants to see it. It's not just the member, if it was done to where she had the Patreon and nobody else could get their hands on it, that might be a little different.
Well, that's honestly, that's the truth, because Greeno messaged me today and he said, tell her it'd probably be a good idea to take it down. And she goes, I did take it down. And I said, no, because I watched it last night off of your link and I sent it to her. And she was like, oh my gosh. She was like freaking out. She goes, I thought I had it all down. And she didn't realize that she didn't have it down. It is now down. But she thought she had taken it down. And it, she's like, it's been down for days. I said, no, it's not down. But it is down now. But she just didn't realize that it wasn't down. I mean, not saying that it's anything better, but just saying she thought it was down like 3 days ago or whenever.
Well, and the fact that you had the option to save it and then share it with whoever you wanted to,
Yeah.
And
Well,
those are the people that are going to put it online.
And those
so
are the people
that
that are
when
getting more
Google
much
Gannon's name,
yeah,
the family's going to see it.
That's okay.
But
sorry, I was having an audio issue with my microphone. I was trying to fix the audio.
Oh.
Okay. Did you guys ask me a question or anything? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
No.
Okay. Sorry, I was like totally spacing out in the settings here. I was looking at them. Okay. So
chat.
Yeah, the chat.
You know
Okay.
what?
Yeah, I gotta.
I'm not defending anybody. I mean, it wasn't right. I would not have put it out. It wasn't something I would choose to do, and I'm not defending her actions. I'm just saying that the way that she does stuff, she does pick stuff apart, but it doesn't make anyone who went and copied it and put it out there for free any better. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And his genitals were covered. They were covered by the coroner. It says that in court very clearly. And also next to the pictures, it says the people's exhibits, which these are things they're putting out in defense for the people. I mean, it's a public case. The problem is it's not Zav Girl. It's not anybody else. It's they need to not put that stuff out. That stuff needs to be the family's decision whether they want that information to be out or not. That's the bottom line. It needs to go higher than Zav, higher than anybody else. It needs to be, if there was something like my daughter, I wouldn't want her stuff out, and it should be my decision if I let that out. You know what I mean? But it's public information right now. It should be more of a legal process to where people can't get that stuff. There's no reason why any of us should have his autopsy pictures, really. Anybody. We shouldn't even really have the rights to see it, I don't think. That's my opinion.
I listened to two different YouTubers today. The lawyer and then I can't remember who the two ladies were that I listened to. So he was under the assumption that the FOIA request went to Florida. And that's how she got the file. And he said a lot of times what happens is when these clerks get these requests for the whole file, they're supposed to go in and, because there is a law in Florida that says they shouldn't be giving out these photographs. But whoever this was didn't look through that, just sent the whole file. Well, then the two women that I was talking about today, the one woman said, no, this was out of, where was her case out of? Colorado or?
Yeah. I think it's Colorado.
Yeah, she said, no, they got the FOIA request from Colorado, and Colorado doesn't have any laws like that to stop that stuff from going out. So she was saying the same thing we said last night about contacting your senators and state representatives to get these laws changed so that stuff, those pictures, especially of minors, are not released in the FOIA request.
Yeah. I mean,
so someone did release them. Either they made an accident and released them, or they released them according to their own rules.
Now, the lawyer said that if it did come out of Florida, because they have that law there, whoever it was, the clerk that provided those, could actually get charged if she released the whole file and didn't take those out.
Really?
So I don't know. I still don't know which one is true. Did it come from Colorado or did it come from Florida?
Ask Zav.
You want me to ask her? I'll ask her. Hold on a second.
God, I wish she would just call me. You know what I
know.
mean? I really wish she would. I really wish she would just call me. I know she's probably watching She did watch last night. Be nice to her though, everybody. Be nice to the other people, even though if we're talking about something they did.
I don't condone anybody threatening any other creator. I you know how I feel. I feel that this should not have been released. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's a lot of people's opinions.
Yeah.
But that's my personal opinion.
Okay, here's just an honest, respectful question. Why would the chat make fun of his private parts? Are we sure that they were covered up? Yep, I'm positive 100% they were covered up. I have the video. I do have the video and shared it with Marv and Missbehaved for this reason only. Not just, hey, look at this stuff. Actually, when I reached out to you, Marv, I asked you a question before I even sent it to you. Do you remember what it was?
Do you really want to see this?
Exactly. I asked her the same thing. Do you really want to see this? Like this bad? It's really bad content.
No, you said it was bad.
Yep. And so,
and also on the photos, the coroner during court states, the guy asks, "So why is this area blurred out?" And she said, "For privacy reasons." And that area was blurred out by the coroner. Zav could not unblur that. Nobody can unblur that. I couldn't unblur it. Greeno couldn't unblur it. It was blurred out. There was no private parts shown on those photos. It was blurred out.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it was blurred out. So any of the rumors that are going around that people were talking about this and that and the other, that they were showing and zooming in on his stuff, is not true. I watched the video. It's a true crime video. That's all it is. It's as if I make a true crime video. You guys have watched my videos. The detail that I put into the videos is exactly what she did. She put in a lot of detail into the video. She showed crime scene photos and stuff like that. And it just happened to be bad stuff. Okay. But are we saying that it's wrong totally, Marv, that someone uploads those photos, or someone uploads those photos and offers to receive money for them? Which one, or both?
I'm on both.
You're on both. What about you, Missy?
Oh, the money thing is totally 100% no. But the fact is, it's, all the news is like making it like they charge $3 per photo, which is not the case. Her membership on Patreon in general was $3. She wasn't selling the photos. She was selling her membership. The photos just happened to have been one of her videos that she put on there. She said that she put it on to Patreon because she had less of views and she wasn't sure about it. And knowing that less of her people would see it, not realizing. And that's just, I'm just saying that's what she said. You know what I mean?
Right.
And her membership was $3 yesterday, and it was the day before, and it was the day before, and before she even put those photos up, people were paying $3 to be on her membership. So the photos were just a video that she put onto that she charges for. She wasn't charging for those videos directly. And she said that she got them out of Colorado, Marv. The photos came from Colorado.
That makes Colorado, everybody.
Okay.
There it is. Came from Colorado, from Zav herself. So check this out. I want to bring this to everybody's attention. This is something that, comes up. People are scrutinizing the fact that Zav Girl did this and making a huge deal about it, right? As if this has never happened before, but this has happened before. But I want to point out someone here, Stuff for the Little Children podcast that I come across says, I would never do anything like that, or like what I have been accused of, right? Okay, now she said she's accused of posting Gannon's autopsy pics behind a paywall. Screenshots prove she did. Her argument is asinine. Okay, some of us are here to give child victims their voices back. We don't claim her. And she shared a thing of, where they're talking about Natasha Cooper, and she was also talking about Zav Girl and other posts. I didn't bring them all on here. But so this girl, this Suffer from the Little Children podcast, is saying, oh, this is such a horrible thing, and what she did was wrong, and I would never do such a thing ever in the world. But if you go look at this post right here, this is a warning label posted by her that says that this slideshow contains photos From the post-mortem examination of a 16-month-old child, view at your own risk. And then one comment, I said, well, there's no proof that she actually did upload any content, behind a paywall, because she didn't offer it behind a paywall, but she did offer it. And a commenter says, I just went back to review episode 8 on this case and saw the photos of this sweet angel in the hospital after she passed. For the life of me, I cannot understand why anyone could or would beat any child, but a helpless baby. It makes me physically ill seeing like those or any of these poor children. Okay, so that you feature here on your podcast or this blog. Now, here's the thing. This viewer admitted to seeing this, okay, that she saw a dead child, a little girl, in this video that this person here offered. And now this person's condemning Zav Girl for uploading the videos and charging for it behind a paywall, okay? But this person's no good either for uploading them for free and sending them out. So you ain't got no room to talk, bitch. If you're going to scrutinize someone, scrutinize yourself.
There's a few channels. I know I could name a few more that actually have done the same exact thing, that actually have shown Autopsy children's pictures on their Patreon. I could name 2 more. I'm not going to name them, but I could name 2 more. I mean, if you want me to, I can name them, but I'm not going to. I mean, if you want me to.
I don't care if you name them or not. I don't care. Look, I don't care. So, I mean, that's the big thing. Now, did you guys watch Natasha Cooper's live stream last night? Her response?
So, okay, this will tell you my whole theory on that. Anthony and I were texting back and forth, and I said, what did I say to you? I just want to reach through this phone and punch her for not taking. She made it sound like it was everybody else's fault.
Yeah,
the only thing she had to apologize for was the fact that she worded her first statement incorrectly and made it sound like she was charging for the pictures. But then she goes on there and has the audacity to tell you that she's had channels before with 30,000 followers and whatever, and she's not monetized right now because of the fact that these other channels have been taken down. And if she gets monetized, people are just going to report her videos and get them taken down all over again. What sense does that make?
Dude, I've been watching what she's been saying about that, and it's like, okay, so you don't care. I care, dude. I cared when I lost 20,000 subscribers on my last channel and 3 million. I lost, was horrible. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I would be devastated. My channel was gone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see why she just doesn't care. She just wants to talk shit and don't give a shit. And that's the thing.
She's not banned from YouTube because she has a YouTube channel.
Yeah, she's not banned from YouTube, everybody.
She's just not monetized. She chooses not to be monetized so that her channel won't get taken down.
Yeah. Yep, that's exactly what it is. So her channel won't get taken down. Now, yeah, someone was just asking about the father's interview. Did anybody watch the father's interview? I do have that. We're going to play some of it.
Are you going to play it now?
Yeah, I can play it right now. Why, you got something first?
Yeah, I got to go feed the dog. I'm the only one home.
Feed the dog. All right. Mute you guys' microphones. I'll be...
All right. I'll be right back.
All right. We'll be right back, everybody. We're going to listen to this interview.
Join us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Greeno Productions, making dreams reality.
Disturbing story of a YouTuber who obtained a gruesome autopsy photo, multiple photos of a murdered 11-year-old boy, and charged money for people to view them on her page. We have that little boy's father joining us live in just a minute. This is something that really, really upset me. If you saw the show last night, it clearly upset many of you too. Gotten so much reaction on social media to this. It's got everybody so angry, and it really should. That 11-year-old boy, Gannon Stauch, he was stabbed 18 times by his stepmother. He was hit in the head. He was shot. And then he was stuffed in a suitcase and left under a bridge in Florida. The severely beaten to death little boy case, and this is what he told us.
I'm skipping through a little bit.
It's just completely disrespectful to the family members that have had to live through this horror. But even more so, Gannon deserves so much more in life from his stepmother, and he certainly deserves dignity and respect in death. And there's nothing about what this YouTuber is doing, and I think there's another one out there as well, that they're doing that provides any dignity or respect to Gannon.
Zav Girl even posted a statement on her YouTube page about this controversy. She wrote, quote, "The reality of the situation is that different people feel differently about this. Some people genuinely think making a video including the autopsy photos is bad, and I respect their opinion and feelings. Other people, like myself, think of autopsy photos and the coroner discussing, explaining, interesting and informative, and are able to view it all in a more scientific, detached way." That's the way she described it, scientific and detached. Well, the fact that Zav Girl actually tried to defend what she did, in my opinion, makes it even worse. Instead of just flat out apologizing and saying she was wrong, I got so many messages today, so many people telling me, oh, there's this other YouTuber who also posted the photos, and there's another one over here, and people were directing me to all these pages that saying we should expose all these people. And look, I appreciate the messages. No one should be posting these photos. But this really isn't about the YouTube drama between the different users, or really even about Zav Girl. I don't even care about the YouTube drama. I'm not trying to cancel anyone. I don't care about Zav Girl. At the end of the day, this is really about the victims' families, what posting photos like that does to them. Anyone posting any photos like this just re-victimizes what these families are going through. And joining me live now is Gannon's father, Al. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Al. First of all, I'm so sorry for everything that you went through with what happened with your son, and having to go through the trial, and I can't even imagine how that felt. And then for you to be re-victimized again with these photos being posted on YouTube. I'm so sorry.
Thank you for that, Brian. I do appreciate that.
How did you find out about this? How did you learn that she was posting these photos?
I found out from Gannon's mother, actually, and my family informed me as well. I'm not on social media, and I don't follow any of these people, so I don't have access to it, thankfully. But yeah, I appreciate those that do follow it for informing me.
Tell me a little bit about Gannon, because this has sort of taken over the conversation for the last couple of days. But we don't want to remember him based on those photos, obviously. He seemed like such a great little guy. He was smiling in all the photos that I've seen. Tell me a little bit about your son.
Yeah, he was a fun kid. He was a jokester. He loved to have a good time. Playing video games was one of his passions, as many young boys is. And what can I say? He was just my boy. And I mentioned, I think it was in my closing statement, just to kind of at the spot he was at in life, transitioning from calling me daddy to right before he passed away. It was one of the first times he ever just called me dad, coming into those early teenage years. So it was a special bond we had, and I miss him dearly.
Yeah, I'm sure. What would you say to Zav Girl, if she's watching this, and she very well may be? What would you want her to know?
What I will say to her or anyone who's doing these sorts of things is what I've said all along, that this is about Gannon. This is not about anyone's opinions, or if you view it as a scientific discussion or anything like that. This is about respect for a little boy who tragically lost his life and did not deserve this, and we should respect that. And also, yes, for the family that survived Gannon, many people have mentioned it. It is re-traumatizing. It's hard to, we just finished the trial just over 2 months ago, Brian, and now we're having to kind of relive some of this stuff and not being able to put it behind us.
Yeah, and I think for me, what really pushed it over the edge was the charging the money. Obviously posting it alone would be disgusting, but then charging money to see those photos, it's really, really just awful.
The word I use to describe it is evil, Brian. In my opinion, it's just evil. The world got enough information from the trial to have every discussion they want to have. Why do we need to go have a freedom of information request and pay for this kind of information and then dishonor my son by putting these photos out there like that? I mean, the world got to see it. I don't know how well you followed it, but the only day I chose not to come to the trial was the day that they showed the autopsy photos. Now I feel like I can't even go on YouTube without the possibility of accidentally coming across these photos.
Yeah, and I when we talked to the prosecutor last night, I mean, they made a special effort to make sure that those photos were not released on the live stream. In other trials that I've covered, they always do that. I mean, they just want the jurors to see them because that's part of, obviously, the legal process, but it's not the kind of thing that the public needs to see at all. Do you think you may take legal action? Is there anything that you can do to get these off the internet to sort of like protect your son?
We've talked through some of those options. The hard part, Brian, is I am just emotionally and psychologically and financially maxed out from the last 3+ years of this process. To take legal action, I just don't know if I have that in me. But what I'm trying to do with you tonight, and I appreciate you having us on, is to help shape the narrative. And I don't really think I have to do much. Based on the messages you've received and the feedback I've seen from other responses, I don't think it's going to take much from us to have these people, repointed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think people just lose sight of the fact that these are real families dealing with this. I mean, there's a true crime community, and 99% of them have good intentions and are really focused on the victims. I'm sure you've felt that through all of this, but there's just those bad apples out there that are trying to make money. The other thing I keep thinking about is the fact that she and others were even able to get the photos. It seems like there should be some kind of law, or it shouldn't be that easy to just write a check and put in a request and be able to get those photos sent to you.
Yeah, once again, I think that's a question for a legal representative. I do believe in the freedom of information to a certain extent, but I think the problem from my perspective is you can't always control what someone with evil intentions will do, and that's what we have in this case here. So I don't know. I'm not a legal guy. I'd have to look at the ins and outs of the FOIA Act and all that, but there's a lot of good that comes out of release of information. It's just in this instance, and having to bear this burden myself, it's hard to say this, but in this instance, someone has taken that and turned it into evil.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Well, Al, thank you for coming on. Again, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. I totally understand you being emotionally exhausted, and this now just adding on to that. I hope that people will continue to be outraged by this, and they can sort of police themselves in a way on YouTube, because it's just, it's just awful, especially when you think about family members like you, Al. So thank you for coming on tonight. I hope people who posted the photos are watching and can hear it straight from you how it makes you feel.
Yeah, I hope so too, Brian. And in closing, I do want to leave you with, I think we're really getting focused on less than 1% of the people, because the majority of people I've come in contact with throughout this past 3+ years have been absolutely sustained me and helped me to fight through this process for my son. So I do want to give credit where credit is due on that. And I think those people will continue to shape the narrative that this is unacceptable behavior by a very small portion of people that seek to benefit from my son's, those horrible pictures of my son. So thank you again, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. I totally agree with you. I'm glad you said that. We'll be in touch. Hopefully we can stay on the story, and maybe we can find some lawmakers or someone who want to spearhead a project to just make it a little more difficult. Obviously, like you said, it's good to be able to file a FOIA and get information, but certain things I think are just too much. It should be a little more difficult. So thank you again, Al. We'll be in touch.
All right, Brian, thank you so much, and I hope you have a good evening.
You too. Okay, still ahead tonight, we've got a panel of true crime YouTubers who want to weigh in on this disturbing story. You just heard Al say it. Most of them are really good, and they're just as upset about this as everyone else. I mean, they're really mad. We're going to talk to them coming up next. Plus, major developments.
Okay.
Who was the panel? Do you know who the panel was he had on there?
I do have the panel. Yeah, here, I'll go ahead and show you.
Okay.
See where it's at here. Maybe.
true crime lies and alibis. I
Start with you, Gigi. You know, I was thinking about this earlier today.
Okay, here we go.
Of the house were 4. We just heard from little Gannon, the boy's dad, Al. It's heartbreaking that he has to live through the horror and pain again by this happening on YouTube. But look, and I want to emphasize this, Zav Girl's actions should not be a reflection on all.
Well, it's freezing up on me.
I think Marv knows who they are. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, what's his name?
True lies and alibis.
Post these pictures and
here we go. Gigi McKelvey, host of Pretty Little Lies and Alibis podcast.
That's what it is. Pretty Little Lies.
Okay.
I mean, I totally 100% understand what the dad is saying. At the same time, I can tell you her intent was not evil. She didn't do it. I mean, the Natasha girl, I don't know. I can't say about, but I don't think that Zav Girl put them out to be evil. It wasn't like, I'm going to put these out and just like, you know what I mean? It wasn't like that. It wasn't like, it was just how she does her channel, you know, no matter what channel it is. She wasn't like maliciously thinking evilness. Should she have considered the family? 100%. I don't doubt that for a second, but it wasn't like evil, like on her. She's not like, she's one of the nicest people you'll ever know if you just got to know her. You know what I mean? She didn't like, that's like saying I would put him out being evil. I would never. I mean, it wasn't evil. It was just wrong. Is basically what it is. I mean, she should have thought it through first.
It was a mistake, and we've all made them. And I've made several of them.
Yeah. So. And it's not like she did it to make money off of each individual photo. And I'm sure there are people that do that, you know, but I mean, even that news channel, that guy, they're making money off of the story. You know what I mean? People make money off the story just talking about it. So it's not like.
Yeah.
So the lawyer, you know, answered that today in his video. And he said, the news, the lawyers, the firefighters, the doctors, they're all there performing a service for the person who needs them. So it's different because they're making money off of it. That's their jobs.
But
with us, it's not.
Can be.
Okay.
It can be. Yeah.
Look at all the money that Delphi. Look at the families, the money they've made off of Delphi. Look at, it's what it is in true crime. It's just the crap that happens. I'm not saying it's right. All the videos I made, were they all right? No, they were not right, but it's just putting everything to get, you know.
I think it's okay for content creators to make money on true crime shows, true crime podcasts, and true crime YouTube videos. And the reason for that is because if you don't do it, you don't understand the time it consumes of you.
Oh yeah.
To make a video, Marv, how long does it take you to make just a 5-minute video? It's long, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. 5 minutes is long when you come to editing.
It takes me a couple hours, and then it takes a couple hours more to upload it.
And then, but you're thinking about it all day long. I mean, all day long, your mind is turning thinking about it. I mean, it takes up it's a whole day worth of. I mean, you know, every day worth of.
And God forbid, I was going to make a longer video, you know. If you want to make a 30 to 60 minute video, that takes days.
Sometimes weeks.
Right?
Weeks. Sometimes it can take weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, weeks, literally.
Sometimes it takes days just to upload one.
Yeah.
I know. To get it rendered and saved. So it does take a lot of time, everybody. It takes a lot of time to do this stuff, especially if you're interested in the creators going places and being the boots on the ground. Like, oh, we want you to go to Delphi, or we want you to go to Evansdale, or we want you to go here or there, right? That costs money, okay? Yeah. Even if it is in the same town as the person or near in the same state, it still costs Zav Girl, myself, Marv, Missy, everybody else money to get up and go to that place.
Your computers, your internet, everything you have to do it. It costs money.
Have to have it. Have to have the computer, have to have the internet, have to pay for StreamYard so I can have all these people on here.
And all your memory cards and all the,
Yeah, I mean, people, it's a lot of work.
Look at every trip I take to Indiana. It's not cheap from Wisconsin to Indiana.
Yeah, exactly. And is it Thierry says that's a choice we all made. That is a choice we all made. We chose to be in that. I chose to be in that profession. I chose to do this for a living, true crime YouTube, and create videos for people. So yes, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with making the money on the things, but I'm not going out and grabbing dead photos or nude photos and posting them on my channel and saying, here you go, let's pay for this or give it out. Okay. Unless it was for a reason like this. And I shared it to two people that I already know already.
That I asked for.
It's not like I was reaching out to two people. Yeah, she asked for it. So
I responded like 2 days later,
but,
like what?
But here's the thing. So here's the thing is if you think that I'm defending this at all, I'm not defending it at all. I'm saying it's wrong for her to do that. And she knows that I've said that. Her and I have had words in the past. Okay. She had said something about me or something like that in a video one time, just in passing. And I had said something back to her. So her and I, Zav and I we weren't on like best friends. You know what I mean? Like leading into this, you know what I mean? Like
Greeno, everybody said something about you.
You have conflict with somebody? What?
I don't know what it is about my charming personality that does this, but I don't know. But it's like, so the thing is if you watch the video from the first time I did it to the second time, which was yesterday, to now, I am not condoning what she did. I'm saying
I don't condone it either. I'm not condoning it either.
I don't condone anything. No, I'm saying I understand it from a creator's standpoint, but it's okay to make money on videos that you create on YouTube. Not okay to make money on gruesome videos just because it's gruesome. Then that's it.
And I would never put something like that out. I mean, it doesn't mean that me saying, I'm just trying to say who Zav is as a person and what I think her intentions were. Doesn't mean I'm defending what she did, because I would not have put those photos out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
they're out there regardless. It's not Zav who got the very first pictures and put them out there. They were available to get. She wasn't the first one with their hands on those photos, I don't believe.
Yeah.
Right.
And I even told her if she was gonna put him out, she should have covered his face. She should have took some more steps to.
She could have blurred out more areas except for the wounds.
Right.
She really wanted to show all of the wounds.
100%.
She could have blurred out everything around it and just showed the wound. Right.
Yeah. To answer Johnny Blaze's question, yes, that is very true, Johnny. You can do this with any case that's closed. Yes. Well, any case. You can go get it from any case.
No.
And so really, who's making money off of those? Who's making money off those? Really, the state, the city, whoever, the coroner, the city who has those files, that's who's actually making the money off those photos, because she has to pay $500 for them. So they're really the money makers, Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying to get transcripts from a trial. They want to charge me $12,000 for them.
Wow. See, that's the problem right there. And they're never going to stop. They're never going to change it because it's money for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I mean, they shouldn't be able to be paid for, if anything, if it's public records, they should be free then. You know what I mean? Or shipping or whatever, but it's because they are making money off of it. The county.
Well, here's the thing. Is whenever I call the county clerks and stuff like that, I'm like, hey, I'm doing this for a media presentation. Can you email me this document, and this document? They typically do it with no charge whatsoever. Now, if I go ask for it in paper, they're going to be like, oh, it's $1 per page. It's going to be $500, sir. And I'm like, get fucked. I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? I'm not paying you $500 for something you can email me for free.
You guys, we're not making excuses for her.
Yeah.
I have made it plain and simple. I do not agree with what she did at all. No pictures of children should ever go out online.
Yeah. So they weren't shown on Patreon. It was given in a Dropbox link. And now the Dropbox link is gone. So she lost 10,000 followers overnight. Holy crap.
I think I lost followers too off of this, so. And I'm not defending anything.
She had 93,000. She's at 88,000.
Yeah.
Zav girl did.
Okay, here's this. Angela says, does anyone remember Annie Elise put a kid's autopsy behind a $1 paywall?
She has them on her Patreon too.
Oh wow.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but I mean,
I do.
10 to Life. Yeah, she was one of the ones I was talking about.
Okay, I don't watch too many people, man. I don't know. I don't watch too many people.
She has a huge channel.
Who?
The 10 to Life, Annie Elise. Her channel's huge, but she's put
Oh,
autopsy
she's
photos
10 to
of
Life?
children up on her Patreon
Yeah,
too.
that's who that is. 10 to Life. You know who that is.
Okay, hang on, I'm gonna look her up.
And she's got children's autopsies on her
okay.
Patreon.
Yeah, I know who she is. Okay, she did
And
the
so
same thing.
Ikemel too. Ikemel does too. And he's from, from.
I did see that.
Yep. So I mean, it's not like Zav is getting attacked when there's plenty of them that do it, whether it be right or wrong. Plenty of them do it.
Yes, I have the video.
Like last night, I was seeing at the end, and you had left, Missy, but I said it's not so much. It's a moral and ethical dilemma that everybody's going through right now.
Right.
Is it morally and ethically right to put pictures of a dead child, online, TV, anywhere?
No. The child should not even be dead. I mean, in all reality. Yeah. This started with one person and one person only. And it was the one evil person, and it wasn't Zav, it was Letitia. That's where it all started. Was it right it's 100% wrong. But some people go to some channels to see some stuff, and some people go to some channels to see other stuff. If you go on a channel and you see stuff that's gross or abusive or whatever, then you just don't watch that channel. You don't pay to go see that stuff if you don't want to see it, whether it be right or wrong. I mean, like I said the other day, my sister sent me a video that I did not want to see, but I saw it, and I can't even believe that it's actually on YouTube. So it's just what's okay and what's not anymore,
Yeah.
I think Tech Death has a good question or a good statement. I don't understand the why.
The what?
And maybe he said, I don't understand the why. Why did they do that?
Did they do what?
Did they put the pictures and the video on Patreon, I believe.
Oh, because they couldn't do it on YouTube because YouTube has terms and service that says you can't do stuff like that, right? So they couldn't upload it there. So she had to do it through her members, and she, whoever paid for it on the members thing, or whoever was a member, got the Dropbox link. So you can't upload stuff like that to YouTube or they'll delete your channel. That's why.
Right.
Yeah. So that's basically what it is. And anybody, you guys can call in if you guys want to discuss this, talk about this, give your opinion on this. You guys are more than welcome to call in and talk about it. My biggest thing was Natasha Cooper last night. She was absolutely horrible with her statement. Her statement was, well, you know what? If it's such a big deal about dead kids' photos being out there, then the clerk's office should have never released them. Right? And it's like, okay. And she's like, the only thing I'm not sorry for anything I did. I'm not sorry for posting it. She said, anybody can see it. You can see it. So I did nothing wrong. All you have to do is send an email to me. Guess what? I emailed her. Ain't heard nothing back. Nothing. Ain't heard nothing back. Emailed her twice. Yeah. Nothing back.
Yeah, I think that her intentions were a lot worse than probably Zav.
Her intentions are worse. Her intentions are worse. She snagged it for free and then sold it, knowing exactly what she was doing. Her intentions were skewed big time.
Oh yeah.
And Zav is recording her statement now as we speak. So it will be out.
Good. Tell her to release it to me.
And then she will come on and talk to you. And then she'll come on, Greeno, after she wants to do that first because that's what she was told to do.
That's fine.
Greeno,
I'll talk to her before that.
If you go to my community page, I put Landon's statement regarding this, and that's Gannon's mom.
You know what? I shared that from you last night. Community page. Okay. So let me go ahead and save that.
Because I know
and
that
I'll drop it right into our.
I think it's important just to get both views of the parents out there.
It is. Mother and father need an outlet to be able to say whatever they want to say. So, okay, I got that.
I can honestly say that I didn't get to watch a lot of the trial on this case because we had three trials going on at the same time, and I was watching the Lori Vallow trial, trying to keep track of this trial and the West trial. It wasn't working.
Wasn't there one other one? There was another big one. Oh, the Murdaugh one was going on too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Murdaugh trial, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I can say that I watched the victim impact statements and bawled my eyes out on both
Really?
sides.
I don't usually watch.
On both sides of the family. Anybody who talked that day, I was just bawling because I don't know if you saw Al's statement. He broke down in the middle of it.
No.
I mean,
I watched one day of this trial and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here it is. This is from his mother. You want to read it?
Sure. It says, Gannon is my child and is not an experiment nor a piece of paper or photo. He is a child. I pray that all is involved in this heinous act will stop and no longer do this to anyone else. I will not give you any satisfaction. No one deserves this and no one wants to be in these shoes. You may say that if it happened to you, you may not change your actions. I do not wish this on anyone. I'm sure you would rethink your actions if this was indeed you or your child. The good that I take from this is that good people still exist. And in a matter of seconds, Gannon's army came together. I surely hope Gannon taught you all a lesson. He is the one who deserves an apology. My son, Gannon. Oh, you're muted.
I really wasn't saying anything. I was just moving my mouth. That is from his mother.
That is from his mother.
Okay. And that is what she had to say last night regarding all of this whole situation here. Isn't it crazy how this just got blown up, man? I think that this all could have been avoided if, for example, I never heard of the other lady offering it, even though she did offer it, but it wasn't behind a paywall. The podcast I was talking about earlier. Okay.
Right.
I never heard anything there because what she said in her description was subscribe to my channel for other exclusive content that's not seen on the channel. That's it. If Zav would have said it like that, and I know you're listening, if you'd have said it like that, no one would have ever gave it a thought. But it was the fact that it was worded the way it was worded of kind of promoting the photos and the videos or the photos.
How was it worded? I didn't even see how it was worded, but how was it worded on that?
She was going to have autopsy video that she was going to be putting out. I think I actually have, maybe I have the wording on here somewhere. Let me see if I can.
I mean, I believe if you say it was worded wrong, I believe that, but I was just curious.
Yeah, it was worded wrong. I can't remember.
That's what you told me earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just worded wrong. So
it was wrong. The whole thing was wrong in general. I mean, it was wrong. But
so we can't scrutinize everybody. We could. Zav, she just hit the to be the poster child for this specific event, as we all get labeled with sometimes. And no one intended for this to happen or this to be so big. And News Nation made it bigger than probably what it should have been.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about it before they even went on News Nation. And I just am in shock that it went that far to do that. So
I didn't even know what happened until you messaged me. Personally.
I know. Here I am spreading the word to everybody. Hey, check this out. No. So if anybody has any questions for us, I will begin reading questions from the viewers.
Can you go scroll up?
Sure. Better right after this
To
line. What's
Andrea
up? What are we going to?
Andrea Delph, her comment. It's 6:26.
It's 6:26. Hold on. Oh, that's way back there. 4:26. That's my time. Okay, I'm like, by 6:26. Man, it's not even 6:26 yet, Marv.
No, it is here.
It's only 4:30. It's 4:30 here.
Same here. Okay, so who am I looking for?
Andrea Delph. She says there should be a code of ethics.
There it is.
That if you receive autopsy pics of a person under the age of 18 in a FOIA request, that you do not share on any social media platform.
I mean, you go onto court, like court or my case or whatever, and if it's a minor, you can't see what is involved in that case. That's how it should be with autopsy photos.
I agree.
No matter what, you should not be able to receive them for any amount of dollars. There should be just like, otherwise, why aren't they putting the stuff on the minors on my case and stuff? You know what I mean? It should be a blanked out private information. They're sharing it. Yeah. The county is sharing it. They should not be. It should be under that protection, that same protection. But it makes them a buck.
Maybe the one good thing that's going to come out of all of this is that the people are going to speak. They're going to contact their state representatives, and states are going to change their laws to make sure that those photos don't go out with FOIA requests.
I don't think, but here's the thing. I don't think it should be that way. I think there should be some transparency where we can look into it and make sure that what the police are doing is legit. You know,
true.
Because I do see both sides.
See, that's like at the same time, that's like, so if you're just looking at them and not like going over them with other people and you're like with your theories and stuff, then what, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
that's
but
like
I do have autopsy photos of a 16-year-old girl that was killed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I do show them to people when I want to bounce ideas off and have them look at it and tell me what they think. But I have never, ever put them out.
You do it in your private. You do it in a private conversation.
You do it behind the scenes. You talk to the people and your experts, your police. You know, I talk to Anthony. I talk to all kinds of people to get their opinion on what they think, because as I'm reading through the autopsy report and stuff, things aren't making sense with what I'm seeing in this picture.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't ever put it out online.
But at the same time, you need, let's say you find something and it's totally shady and you think that there's something dirty going on in the situation and you discover this, but how do you expose it? Because there's so much protection around law enforcement and this and that. You know, you would have to kind of need the people of your subscriber, the people to back you on a situation when there's so much protection going. Couldn't just be between you and like law enforcement, or you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
That's where you get an attorney involved and say, what are my options?
That makes sense. Yeah.
This is my family. I'm trying to help them. What are the options? This is what I'm seeing. You know, is this right? Is this wrong? What do we do to help this family?
I think that another way to, get past it is also by, if there is going to be some sort of law or something like that, then the law needs to be where only immediate family members can get that kind of stuff.
Right.
Okay. And there has to be, if there's some question in whether you are a family member or not, there should be a DNA test submitted so you can verify that you are a blood relative of that person. Now, this can be tricky when it comes to saying things like that, because you have to think of all aspects of it. What if we come to a situation where you're adopted and these aren't your blood relatives, but you have grown up? This is your mom and dad that have raised you since birth because something happened with your real parents. And here you are, and this is your mom and dad, and something happens, and now you can't even get access to it because some idiot went and made a fucking law, or a freaking law that, you know what I mean, that prevented them from getting that, which could hinder some people. So I think that, when thinking about we need to make laws and things like that, we need to think about all aspects of it and all different types of people and their relationships and things like that when going forward, just like Senate Bill 177 here in Indiana.
Yeah.
Marv, when case does not work for Tabitha Shuck Raines's case. That does not work for that case. The case says you can reopen and investigate a case where an individual has been, where you believe that their death was the result of a third party. And that means that, let's say the Indiana State Police closed a case. You can request to reopen it, but you have to be the detective. You have to investigate yourself, like getting together with people like Marv. And we used, a girl named Lindsay that we used to associate with from Can't Stop, Won't Stop. People like that get together and they talk about these things and we share ideas. And it's like, well, maybe this could happen. Maybe this could happen. And that's the same thing that the detectives are doing. But this is a law that gives you the right to do that. But that law still needs adjusted after seeing it in play. It only works for uncharged deaths. So, for example, Tabitha Shuck Raines, there were people arrested in her murder. One was found not guilty. One pled guilty to a lesser charge. It wasn't murder. It was battery resulting in bodily injury, severe bodily injury.
Yeah.
And then the other one just got off scot-free. Okay. Well, no one was found guilty of that, right? So essentially someone is guilty of it. But since no one was found guilty, the police are like, well, that case is over. That's it.
Yep.
It's over. And you can't reopen that case because it's already been
not unless you can prove and provide evidence. Yeah.
Prove it. You have to prove it. And that's the thing. We may be true crime investigators, but it's not like I can walk up to a dude and be like, hey man, I need a DNA swab real quick. I'm gonna send this to forensics.
Yeah.
You can't do that. We could if we asked permission and they gave it to us, but that's not legit. Police ain't gonna be like, okay, you got a DNA swab from dude and submitted to some lab. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, that's legit, dude. So all laws can be fixed, I think. I wanted to also talk about something else real quick. It also says, does Zav girl will she face legal consequences? Because I did tell everybody I was going to answer some questions. I don't know if she is going to face any legal consequences. I don't think she is.
So now knowing that the pictures came out of Colorado, there's no legal basis for them to do anything to her. Talking about the police or whatever. The only thing that can be done is that the family can sue her.
They could, and he's not going to, he said. He did say that. He said he doesn't have it in him to do that. And I understand his point of view. I mean, I guess basically she could just consider this, from them as like, here's just a stark warning that certain things that you say or do could get you in some bad situations. I mean, could get you end up in the courtroom. I just got out of a courtroom over some stuff. So, I mean, everybody, YouTube can get you strung up into some weird stuff. So you just got to be careful.
It's a valuable lesson for all of us.
All of us, for sure, 100%.
Yep.
So I hope that, I can talk to Zav. I hope that she comes on and talks to me. I'd like to talk to her beforehand, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Natasha is not going to respond, apparently. So, I mean, she's just a lost cause. And anybody else, like Brian Hinton said, we're not here to go out and just expose everybody because that would just be dramatic, as if this is not already somewhat dramatic. But, I mean, we're not going to go through and just pick people apart. We think it's wrong. She knows it's wrong. She made a mistake. We're not going to jump on her every day for it. She's going to have to live with this for the rest of her life.
Right. I just dropped the link if anybody wants to call in.
Yeah, there it is, everybody. She has to live with this the rest of her life. I've been a person that's had news articles put out about me, and not all the stuff in there is true at all. Okay, so I mean, like, this is something that people are from now on will find that and be like, man, you're this horrible person. And I feel bad for her because she's not, you know what I mean? Like, she's not a horrible person. And, I'm not, and I know what people have said about me, and people have said stuff about Marv and Missbehaved. I mean, I've seen it from people, and it's not true. So don't necessarily remember, man, words hurt.
Yeah.
To the fans, words hurt people.
I'm reading all the laws right here. There's so many different laws in so many different states about disclosing the photographs. I mean, they all have such different things. Some of them are like anybody can have them, and some of them do say they're excluded to family, next of kin, law enforcement, medical. It just depends on the state, but some of them are really strict, and some of them are anybody can have them.
Right.
Some of them are just exclude suicide photos, and some of them, there's certain categories, but I don't see really rape victims and stuff like that, but I don't see any in particular ones that say children only, and maybe that's the problem. You know what I mean? They should be protected more than anybody. I mean,
yeah. Now here's a question. This was posted in my comments as well from Crime Night. Joe Lewis, is it also permissible to believe or justify that Keegan Kline was doing nothing wrong by offering girls money for sexually explicit content? I would love to hear your thoughts. Absolutely not. It's freaking horrible. That dude's a piece of crap for doing that. Anybody that does anything like that is a piece of crap.
And that's why he's being sentenced for it on July 27th.
Yeah. Here we got a couple weeks away. He's going to be cracked in the head, dude. I hope he gets wham, man. I'd love to see that happen. Invoke Love is going to
No, Helen, they did not. She got the information from the state of Colorado, not Florida. We verified that.
Oh, yeah, she said, she told me what county she got it from.
Hi, hello.
El Paso County.
I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yes, we can hear. Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, it's just very choppy on my phone.
Okay.
I've had my dealings with one of those channels we're discussing. I don't want to give her any of my air. This is horrible what's happened. I do believe that some kind of charges can be laid against these people that have done this. I sure hope there can be, only because there has to be some kind of accountability taken, unless they make some example of what, about this. I don't think that it's going to stop. It's, people are out here to make money. Unfortunately, they don't care what it takes to do that, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's horrible.
I think that people get caught up in the moment of being a YouTube creator and thinking about monetary gain. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. What is my next story? You know what I mean? Like this is how I'm looking at it. Is I'm a YouTuber. I've got to stay updated. I got to compete with the mainstream media, right? It basically is kind of what you do. You jump on it. This is big news. Let's talk about it. That will generate people to our channels. We will grow, and that's how we get bigger, right? And so we think about it from that aspect at times, and we don't necessarily think about it from the other point of view. And that is sometimes what clouds our judgment, and we make mistakes.
Yes,
and we just
I know that.
Well,
I agree. I agree. I just don't think that using photos of a deceased person to gain that is the correct way to go about it.
But in a way, it could have been a protection. It could have been a protection at the same time. I mean, I'm not saying it's right either way, but putting a paywall on it does protect him in a certain way. You know what I mean? From being totally out there.
Yeah, but that's not true, because they're getting passed around like wildfire.
Well,
yeah,
people
I didn't
can
think
screen
about that.
record. People can go on those behind paywalls and
Screen
they can
record.
take those clips and they can screen record those.
But they can also order
can
them from the county and get them too.
They can order them from
True.
the county and get them. Here's the thing.
Yes, they could.
If people are going to screen grab it, then those people right there are scamming the viewer that they're watching. If those people right there are going to go on there and if I have a members only channel and I say this is for my members who pay $10 a month and I offer them something, that's exclusive to those people. Now, if one of those people has the idea that I'm going to go ahead and go in here and grab this, pay the $10 one time, grab all these videos and send them out to 1,000 people, that person right there is an asshole. And that's copyright infringement. You could be sued for that if someone did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody should do that.
No,
You know,
I don't think that. But there are people out there that will.
Yeah, 100%.
There are that kind of people, and I'm sorry, but NC, she's it's horrible. She's scammed people so many times in the past. I don't even want to give her air.
Who has?
Natasha Cooper.
Oh,
she preys off of families, off of victims.
Now, people have said that about me too. Okay, I will say that people have said that about me.
I just started watching you in the last week, and I like your content. By the way, I think you're a stand-up person, a stand-up guy. That's why I'm here. And but I understand what you all are saying. You know, still, but it's true. The content that was given to the courts were blurred out. They did not see what Zav Girl put out there. Okay,
right?
The content that were showed in the court to in the trial, and
but there was a link you could have clicked on and seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I didn't. I would rather not see a deceased child mutilated. That's just me. I guess that's where my side of this is coming from. I wouldn't want to see that.
But it's the same time. It's at the same time. It's who's the monster that did that? You know what I mean? Not put out the photos, but who? I mean, and really, the news media, in all reality, shouldn't they be focusing their time on people who are selling children for sex right now instead of a YouTuber? You know what I mean? Over a mistake that she made.
And in the media, Brian Anton is making this exaggerating it more. I don't know, but I think that he's really pushing this out there, and he's doing the same thing. He's getting views, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly. I guess I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but with this situation, everybody is doing it, you know, with respect. I like how you guys are handling this. You're handling with respect. You're only reporting what's already been out there. You're reporting on this, and at least there's class and there's respect for the family.
There is, you know, and that's because we've seen this before, you know.
And out of it all, Zav should see what the dad said about it. And he should have called her evil, not necessarily because he doesn't really know her, but she should see this family statement and she should go out and tell them that she's sorry. She should, because of what the family has said. You know what I mean? But should he have called her evil? He doesn't know her intent of why she did it, really. But you know.
Yeah, but you have to think about it in his view. In his view, it is evil.
But I don't
you
think
are
that
showing his dead son.
But he's hearing it. He didn't see the actual video. He's doing it from what people are telling him and the intent. Like
it doesn't matter if he saw it or not. It's just the thought of it.
Right. And I understand that. I understand that.
Looking at him.
I understand that. But at the same time, he thinks she's making $3 a photo. Each photo. You know what I mean? He
should know at least that.
Over the dad's point. I understand the dad's point, and I mean, I totally understand it, and I feel for him. And her intent wasn't as bad as what it's being made out to be, and she's paying the piper for it. I mean, she is, and you know, she's going to come out and say something. But I'm just saying, in my personal thing, if I would have seen the family statement, I would have went out and said, you know what, I didn't think about this way. I was doing my thing, what I always do, and I'm so sorry. And you know, it's taken down, and whatever I have to do to, you know, try and get what I can to remove whatever I can, I will do. You know what I mean? The damage is done.
Yeah.
But
Now,
but it doesn't mean she's evil. You know.
Crime to Sleep asked a question. Hold on, just a moment.
I'm sorry.
Crime to Sleep. No, you're okay. Just a second. I'm going to answer this question real quick. Crime to Sleep asked a question. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about that. So if you go over, there is a place called Social Blade, and it is a site where you can go and you can check up on YouTube creators, and it'll tell you about their channel. It's not 100% accurate, so keep that in mind. It says that Zav Girl on here makes an estimated monthly earning of from $133 at the minimum to $2.1 thousand in a month. That is believable. That is very believable. She can make $25,000 a year, or $1.6 thousand a year. So see how big that range is? It's big. It all depends on her content creation. It all depends on everything that she does. Hold on, guys. I got a phone call. I'll have to step out just a second. Go ahead and take it from here, okay, Marv or
Can you
Missy,
take this off the screen?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
Hi. I'm hoping that Zav Girl will come out and make a statement, a public apology.
She's actually recording it right now. She's
okay.
As we speak. Yeah.
Okay. And because, you know, I want to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she's waiting for the storm to kind of pass to come out and do it, because the stove is hot right now, and she's definitely to be put in the hot seat. She is in the hot seat.
Yeah.
And honestly, everybody, you know, makes mistakes. Yeah, right. She had it behind a paywall. And I give her the benefit of the doubt. You know, she just maybe wasn't thinking that this would gain as much traction negatively.
And she's actually been advised. She's been advised not to speak until she does her statement, and which is why she has not come out since she put her little comment up, whatever she said about it before. Yeah.
Right.
And she will come on his channel. She's gonna, you know, once her statement's out, but she's gonna wait till she does that first.
Right. And no, I don't know this girl's channel. I've never watched it. You know, Natasha Cooper's channel, and I've watched her, and she's honestly very vile person. And the big scammer on YouTube. I have nothing nice to say about that woman, and don't even want to give her ear. But I appreciate you guys letting me come on. I do feel for the families. I feel for everybody involved in this, and I honestly do feel bad for Zav Girl. I even though it was not the right thing to do in many people's eyes, I don't think that she was expecting this.
I don't either.
I pray for everybody involved. I pray for the families, and I honestly do pray for Zav Girl. You know, we don't know how this is affecting her community. You know, where she lives, because I'm sure people know who she is in real life. So I'm going to leave it at that. And thank you for allowing me to come up and share my 2 cents. It was great meeting you guys and talking.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm. Good night. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Awesome. So thank you very much for joining us. And giving your opinion on that. Everyone's always welcome to their opinion on this channel. So, you know, if you guys disagree, you disagree. So what?
I just put it in the chat.
What it is.
Yeah, and I just put it in the chat. Thank you all for being respectful, even if you disagree with what's being said. I know there's been a few comments here and there, but overall it's been calm and respectful. So we're not all gonna agree, and that's okay. I mean, the three of us are up here. We all have different views on different things, and you know, that's what makes the world what it is.
Exactly, it does. So, you know, this is pretty much the update until I talk to Zav or Natasha Cooper, whichever one reaches out. I'm positive that I'll probably talk to Zav.
Do you want me to give her your contact? Do you want me to give her your Greeno? You might give her your contact. Zav?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can honestly say that I was very, very appalled and angry at what Natasha said last night. To take no accountability and to claim to be there for this child and then take no accountability for her actions and just try to understand the point that everybody's making and see the other side of it. I think that's what I was most angry about most of all.
Well, it's annoying that she even said that she was there for that child, because really she's not there for that child.
Right.
No, she's not. She's not there for the child. I don't know how I hit that damn button. I don't know what I was doing there. I hit that button.
Johnny, I have looked into the Amy Mahalovic case. I have not done it on my channel yet, but I have watched videos on that.
Yeah. Also, what are you guys doing on your? Okay, so what are you guys doing on your channels next? Any plans?
Tomorrow night, I am going to talk about this this man who confessed in letters to the about the John Bonet case. And then this weekend, I'm going to fall right back in with, I've got to get some stuff out on Tabitha Shuck Rains and on Delphi. So it's going to be another busy weekend.
Okay. What about you, Missy?
Well, I haven't.
What kind of conspiracy theory are you coming up with?
I'm stirring up a few Delphi videos, but I'm also doing one on a house that my parents bought. That it creeps me out to go there, but it's they bought it, but when they bought it, the lady had gone missing like 10 years ago.
Oh.
When they bought it, they got all of her stuff was there and everything was there, and they call it foul play. But so I have some theories on what happened to this lady, and I just want to make a video on it because it creeps me out every time I go there, and I always do footage and stuff. So I'm like, I might as well make a video on it. She is a missing person, but that's what I have going on. But I don't know when it will be out. I get too scared to go there by myself, so I have to always have someone go with me.
Too scared.
I get so freaked out there. It's like it's like it was an old bed and breakfast, and it's like big and has all these like wings and stuff, and it just freaks me out being there. Like the air creeps me out there, and I don't know. I think it's well because of all these reasons I'm going to put on video, but we'll see.
I can't wait to see that one.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, and the second they could put the house up for sale, her kids put it up for sale. I'm like, I would still probably be keeping my parents' house, thinking they were going to come home, but no, they sold it. So I have questions about that. But
yeah.
So that's about all I got going on right now.
Okay. Well, anybody else have any questions? Do you have any questions for the chat? Anybody want to say anything to them? Because I think I'm good to go unless you guys want to stick around for longer.
No, I agree with Lone Pony's comment.
Yeah.
I hope something positive comes out of this.
Yes. And I believe I believe that in every death, there's something, a blessing in disguise. We may not know what it is. We may not see it, but I feel like children like Gannon and I don't feel like they die in vain. I feel like somehow there is some sort, maybe it was to lock Letitia up for, maybe, whatever the blessing is, I feel like somehow there's something that is good comes out of bad, if that makes sense.
And in a world today where it's so divided, these cases do bring us together.
Yeah. In a world of bad, yeah.
In a world of bad, and it does bring us together. In a warped way, but it does bring us together.
And we get to know people. We would have never known Gannon. Sadly, we have to know him that way, but you know what I mean? It's
it's
what it is.
Yeah, I do get that. And you know
but
what?
Everyone has to remember who the real monster is in this one. The real monster is his stepmother.
Is Letitia Stauch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And she is definitely a monster.
Afterwards,
she's definitely not a good person, that's for sure.
To be anxious because she's been mad at the dad or whatever. She's a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that, once the trial is done and over with, people tend to forget about that person. You know what I mean? The monster that killed him. It becomes all about, let's talk about the victim.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, the victim is the victim, everybody. Let's talk about how big of a piece of shit this other person is.
The details of what a monster she is. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about how good this person was, how bad this person was. Let's not, you know what I mean?
And it's not faming her. It's letting the world know this person is a piece of crap. This person, deserves worse than what she's getting. She deserves way worse than what she's getting. Way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
She deserves what happened to him to happen to her and then to live through it. To suffer through it. It's just.
Yeah.
You know what? I say the same thing about Richard Allen. What do you guys think about that? Same thing? Should he have to deal with this? What he's going through in the prison?
Well, he's innocent still, so.
No, he's not innocent at all.
He's innocent until proven guilty.
He is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law.
And this is
in my court of law, that dude's guilty.
Can I make a statement on this one? Here's my theory on this. They're like, he made confessions. Now, for 6 years, law enforcement has been protecting this case so they didn't get false confessions. Now, in his confession, did he say exactly how he killed them, what he did, how he staged them? Did he say the details that they were trying to protect? Or did he just say that he killed them? He stabbed them?
We don't know.
Exactly. I mean, so his confessions could have been just like anything that they've been protecting all of these years. You know what I mean? They're still protecting it. So, yeah. So until there's proof, like where these they were recorded, obviously, and I heard that his wife hung up, but we don't know if he could have just said he did it just to freaking be done with it. He wants to, it's done. He could, who knows? I mean, we don't know that. We don't know, and unless he confessed and said the details that they've been hiding from us all these years, then I'm going to call bullshit. That's just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's me.
We'll find out.
Well, hey, we're all entitled to it. So I'm good talking about this. If you ladies are, I'll wait on Zav Girls to respond, and I'll wait on Natasha Cooper and anybody else that wants to respond or call and talk about this. We can talk about it. I will update you guys whenever I can get a chance. I'm sure Marv and Missbehaved will too. On an exit note, for everyone who wants to stick around for a while, stick around for a while. Marv, I am going to, you can even cut out too if you want. I am going to show people how people can come together in unity. I'm going to go ahead and play the Can't Stop, Won't Stop video from the event. And I'm also working on recreating that video, Marv, of the event in Lafayette. I've got it all. So that's one with the senators' interviews and stuff like that. This is important information that people should see about different cases and stuff like that. This was filmed in 2021 in June. So keep that in mind when you're watching it. Anyway. It's a longer video.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what
we're doing. I brought a lot of people together that day.
I'm gonna run. I gotta run. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna run real fast, but I will get her your contact, and I do plan on coming to Indiana soon, so we should all get together when I do.
All right.
Yeah, yep, I'll let you guys know. Right. I mean, it just depends on the time, the date, or whatever. So I will. So thanks for having me on, and I will get her your contact information.
Thank you for joining.
Okay. Bye. Bye, Marv.
Bye.
All right, Marv.
All right.
So, hold on. Let me get over here.
I'm gonna exit and let you play it. I want people to focus on the video.
Me too.
It was a great. The videos that you're gonna show are a great way of proving that people can come together, and build friendships, contacts, resources, and a community, especially for these families that think they're alone.
Yeah. Yep.
That was the most important part of it, is these families that thought they were alone got to come together with other families and realize they're not alone, and made friends, contacts, resources, people that they could connect with and talk to that knew what they were going through.
Exactly. And so I've got 2 different videos. Okay, so I'm going to play one today and one next time. The first one is going to be the first event that happened in
Kokomo. No,
Kokomo.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so this one happened in Kokomo. This is it's the video self-explanatory. So I mean, you'll see it, and then there's follow-up videos that happened after this that I will discuss later on. But since we're talking about people getting on each other and coming together in unity, whether you disagree with someone, whether you have had issues with someone, it can always be mended with a simple apology. And so if I've ever offended anybody out there, and those people probably know who they are, who I'm talking to now, I'm sorry. I apologize. And I'd like to move past that.
Exactly. So. And just to let you know that last night and tonight, we have been dual streaming on both channels. So if you like the content, click the thumbs up on True Crime Investigates, and then go over to True Crime with Marv and hit the like button there too. Show both channels love.
Yeah, show both channels love. Right there's our links right there. They're also, everything's found in the description of the videos.
Yep.
You can always find it in the description of the video. If you want any kind of links, contact information is usually found in the About section on the YouTube channel. Just go ahead and reach out to us if you guys have questions or comments.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to donate, we do appreciate donations. We are fan funded because YouTube does not pay smaller channels a whole lot. And you can get all of our information in the About section on each page.
Yep. You can get the PayPal links, and you can also donate through Super Chat to highlight your comments so that we see it first right on here, ladies and gentlemen. So I've got some things in store. So maybe if I can get this right next week, ladies and gentlemen, on Crime to Sleep, you guys are going to start to get a Tuesday and Thursday episode of some content from me on Crime to Sleep. So it'll be content that you can go to sleep and probably have some nightmares over. So,
oh God.
Yep, it'll be a podcast. So,
all right, everybody, thanks so much for being here and supporting us, and for a great discussion tonight. Send your love out to that family, Gannon's family, and we love our true crime community. So, thank you for being here. We both appreciate it. And I'll catch you soon on True Crime with Marv.
All right. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Anthony Greeno right here along Marvelous Marvin from True Crime with Marv. And we are going to keep it
Southern style.
Southern style, y'all. Peace out, y'all.
What is Can't Stop, Won't Stop?
We are an LLC, a company that finds justice for families, of grieving families who maybe have unsolved murders, maybe missing children, loved ones. It doesn't have to be a child. And we help get these cases in the right hands. We are here not to solve any crimes. We are here to get these cases into the right hands and find justice and help these grieving families maybe move forward just a little bit.
So how long have you been doing the Can't Stop, Won't Stop thing?
Can't Stop, Won't Stop is brand new. We started that just, maybe 6 months ago, not even that. And, just trying to build off of that so we can help other families anywhere. It doesn't matter where.
What brings you to Kokomo, Indiana?
Well, Tanner Barton and Brittany Bell. Those are two cases that I'm working on right now. We have discovered so many inconsistencies in their autopsy reports, police reports, and that's what brought me to Kokomo is these two cases. And there are so many more cases here in Kokomo that I have been made aware of that need justice.
Tell me a little bit about how you got into this with Egypt and everything. Just briefly touch on that.
Yeah, it's definitely a long story, so I'll keep it brief. But my sister was killed, and we were in a small town. I grew up in Belleville, Michigan. It's also a Van Buren Township, and it's not much different than Kokomo in the fact where it's just big enough to where they don't want to ask for help from local authorities, and they want to do everything internally themselves. And what the problem that brings is it happened in Belleville is when you're wrong, they don't want to do anything about it. They want to handle it themselves. But there's so many resources out there from the state, from the FBI, from federal, the letters, as they say. And that's what we ended up doing, pushing them eventually out of the case completely. And then when it was in the hands of Michigan State Police, they had all of their resources from all the letters and themselves, and they brought my sister's case to justice after 3.5 years. It took them 3 months for their first arrest.
So Mallory is my daughter. Mr. Peace is a songwriter and performer, and he used to sing with my sister-in-law Egypt, who was murdered and shot and killed in her own home, which is how we started Can't Stop, Won't Stop. She used to sing with him, and now my daughter Mallory sings her role or her part in Where'd You Go and in the different songs that she sings. So they're here to perform that song for all of the families that are coming here to be together. We're going to turn this into something powerful, and we're going to turn these tragedies into voices, and that's what Can't Stop, Won't Stop is all about here. And Can't Stop, Won't Stop evolved from my sister-in-law to be. This is Dwayne. His sister was murdered. She was shot and killed in her home in Michigan, in Belleville, Michigan. And the local department was blaming the wrong person. They didn't have the right person. They were saying it was her ex-boyfriend. And Dwayne and I originally started this by saying, yeah, all right, let's get him. He's on the streets. There's a killer on the streets. Let's get him off those streets. Well, with our investigation and our looking into what was happening, we were able to discover that he wasn't the one that killed Egypt. He wasn't the one that the local department should be focusing on, yet they continued to focus on him. We knew that there's something needed to be done. We knew that the local department wasn't going to change their mind. We had tried and tried and tried. They weren't going to do anything different. That's when we began our fight, and we had some protests. If you listen to my last episode, you can hear on Can't Stop, Won't Stop podcast, you can hear what we did to help get Egypt Covington's case into the hands of the state police. And that is our role here, our goal, our mission here at Can't Stop, Won't Stop is to get each of these cases the justice that all of our loved ones deserve, and to get them in the hands of the right person. We are not here to go against, well, kind of we are. We do go against police, but we go against the law enforcement that aren't doing the right thing. that aren't doing the full investigation that all of us deserve, and that we were able to witness ourselves in the injustices that are happening in so many of the cases that are happening right here in Kokomo, Indiana. And if it happens in Kokomo, it happens everywhere. And that's what we're here for at Can't Stop, Won't Stop, is to make that awareness and to show people the injustices and the power of our voices. Just because the voices that we had supporting me and Dwayne and the entire community to fight for Egypt and to get her case in the right hands, into the state police. That's what we do. We don't solve crimes. Can't Stop, Won't Stop, we don't solve crimes. That's not what we do. We are here to get these cases in the right hands. And we are here today to help get all of you, any of you who have loved ones, we are here to help that awareness and make people aware of all the injustices that are happening. And specifically, Tanner Barton. That's the case that was next after Egypt. That Michelle found me. She reached out to me. She had all the proof of why Tanner's case should be reopened, and it's a fact. His case needs to be reopened. And then we have Brittany Bell. And you guys, in no order at all, because every life is just as important as the next. But we have proof that Brittany Bell's case should be opened, and it needs to be in the right hands. And right now, Howard County Sheriff's Department and Kokomo Police Department are not doing their job. And that's not to say that the problem is they don't utilize the resources that they have available. And that is the issue, is the arrogance. That's when I start calling out police departments, is the arrogance when they don't ask for the help. Be heroes and ask for the help. We have proof for all of that. And that's the injustices, and that's what's happening, and that's the awareness that we need to know. Because if this happens to any single one of you, us, these are the people that are going to be in charge of each and every one of your cases. They are still in office. They get to go on with their lives. They get to get the 4th of July off and take time to go and spend with their family. Guess what Donna Bell wants to do? She wants to be hanging out with her daughter right now and taking time off for the 4th of July and going up to the lake. Michelle Barton and her family, they want to be at the lake right now with Tanner. They can't do that. But law enforcement can do that. And they can say, be patient, Lindsay. Bullshit. Don't tell me to be patient when I emailed you 11 times to meet with you. 11 times to meet with Kokomo Department. And in 11 times, it's been, I wrote down, oh, that's an easy number, 30 days. 30 days when Teresa Galloway said that she would meet with me and Donna Bell, Brittany's mom. 30 days ago, she told me that she would get a date on the calendar. 30 days. That's ridiculous. You can't even have a date on the calendar in 30 days.
So we all don't want to be part of this club that we are together. We're all part of that same, victims club. We all have a family member that is deceased. Woo! We all, and the similarities upon that was that we didn't have answers for 3 years, almost 3.5 years. We really didn't have answers with my sister's case. And the only difference between my sister's case and the cases that are here, there's multiple cases here, is that we finally had some sort of closure. We're going to trial. That's happening next year. So we are so proud of where we are at this point. And now we just want to get you to that same point and find some answers. And, the results are all going to be different, but that's not the point. There's unanswered questions out there, and we just need some of those. So that's the hope that I can give, is that we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to use our template with the community. We have so many community members, whether it's from Facebook or just people that we know driving down from Michigan and helping us out here. Well, you have a huge community as well. and our community combined with yours is going to make this happen. So, you know, we're here with you. We love you guys.
I'm former law enforcement from the city of Delphi. I was in law enforcement for 10 years, and then I have been a private investigator since. So I know both sides of the issue with some of the stuff that's going on. What many of you may not realize is there are several more cases that have been unsolved, murders, arsons that have resulted in death, which is classified as murder, and everything else that have been going on here since the early 80s and maybe even the mid 70s. Your tragedy is just a few of the tragedies that have struck this community and have gone unsolved over the years. I personally have looked into 3 murders that happened. One lady, Janet Erie, she was found on Thanksgiving Day 2004 on Apperson Way. Teresa Cooper was found in March of 2005 on West North Street. And before that, Robert Rowe in Center, Indiana. Now the first two I mentioned were handled by the Kokomo Police Department. The last one was handled by the Howard County Sheriff's Department. None of them have been solved. I question a lot of the stuff that's still going on with that, but you can't get anywhere. Greg Goodnight was the former mayor. He was terrible. And you know, you've got victims calling his office. He won't even respond. You go to the police department and try to talk to them, they won't respond. And that's very frustrating. That's not how you handle the public that you're supposed to represent. But you know, you look around and you say, okay, well, what can I do? What can I do as a person to make this better? Well, in my opinion, and it's been alluded to a couple times, but in my opinion, things need to be put forth in a way that adds expertise to the equation. And what I mean by that is, I don't believe that anything was ever sent to Quantico near Washington, D.C., which is the headquarters for the FBI. Those files should be sent to Quantico. They should have those to where the FBI can send back a profile on these killers. There may have been just one killer in the 3 cases that I mentioned. There may have been 3. Nobody knows, because no files, to my knowledge, from what I understand, have ever been sent to Quantico to the FBI to be reviewed. That is a vital thing. When you can't solve a case and it goes cold, that's a vital situation. Those files need to be sent. I call on Mr. Moore to do one very simple thing. And this will help you, and it'll help you, and it'll help a lot of these other people who are victims. And it's very simple, and it was alluded to a while ago, but not followed through with completely. That is to come out publicly with his chief of police and say, we've got too many of these going on. I want the 2 or 3 best investigators we've got. I want to put together a task force with the Sheriff's Department, with the Indiana State Police, and with the FBI. And if we put together a task force, 6 or 7 people for nothing but cold cases, I think you'll see some really, really good results. It's very simple. Mayor Moore, appoint a cold case committee to look over these files, start one at a time, just show the community and these poor victims that you're actually doing something.
I said, you have the power to bring in the FBI on Cooper person. He's not done anything. I've asked KPD detectives, why haven't the FBI been notified? It's not necessary, it's not needed. The sheriff's department can't come in, they say, because KPD will not invite them in. The state police can't come in because KPD will not invite them in.
That's probably right. The last part's probably right.
Everybody and their mama to get them to help work on this case. And Mayor Moore has done nothing. He sat right across from me with his new Assistant Chief of Police, Galloway, which is another story. But they're doing nothing on Karina McClurkin's case. Nothing. It's been 5 years, October, since she's been gone. We haven't found her body. We've searched over 500 miles in and around Kokomo. The police have told my son, her father, who killed her, why would you be there? He lives down the street around the corner. He lives in the park right now. But they won't do anything. And I just don't have any help.
I understand.
This family has no closure.
I understand.
So what do you do?
I think you have to contact him in writing, and I think you have to. Well, there's you got to do it where there's a paper trail, and I think you contact him in writing, and I think you get as many signatures from all these good folks as you can get. Well, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So there's a new law. Do you know about the new law that just came out?
Yes.
Have you heard about the new law?
Yeah.
Came out yesterday, July 1st. Yes. July 1st here in Indiana. We don't have this yet in Michigan. And I have the law in front of me so I don't misquote it. And families now can ask for a new investigation from the state police. There are stipulations. So it has to be that there was an uncharged death. So it would have to be that uncharged death means the death of a person that a local law enforcement agency has determined was not the result of criminal act committed by a third person. I'm not sure if this law will help Karina. I haven't looked into enough of Karina's case. But there is a new law now that families can, and I know that it will 100% help some of the families. The other part of the law is that it needs to be an uncharged death. So then, a reasonable suspicion means that there needs to be reasonable basis for believing that a death was caused by a criminal act of a third person based on concrete facts. So this all came into play yesterday. Yesterday, this was passed by the state police. They wanted me to shut up, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to be quiet. Don't stop. Do not stop. That is my biggest advice. Message them every single day. Add in more people every single day. Don't stop. They want you to stop. We won't stop because we can't stop because you love her. Sorry, that's my answer.
In addition to this law, there are things that come out all the time, and I'm not talking every day, but every few years or whatever, that enhances DNA testing and different things like that. Don't give up. Don't quit pushing, because you never know when that next breakthrough is going to be, chemically or whatever, that's going to be able to take the evidence that is there in the files and be able to solve these murders. Don't get discouraged with too much of that, because every so often, every year, every couple years, new DNA stuff comes out, and you see it on Facebook, you see it in other cases and in other media where they say, hey, we solved a 25-year-old murder. If it takes that long, it takes that long.
And you guys, I'm very blunt. And I tell the families that I work with, I say it how it is. And she was found dead, face up, floating down a river. That sounds terrible, but so many people try to cover this up and try to make it sound like it's just something not. It is a terrible thing that needs to be told exactly how it was found, because it could be any of our children. And that's the fact of it. This beautiful young woman was found floating down a river face up with a gunshot shot through her middle, right through her eyes, through her forehead. Found by fishermen.
Boys.
And they don't.
Boys. Young boys.
And they don't have her killer. He wanted to say a couple words, and then I promise right after this we'll start marching. We'll come back, and then we're gonna have some performances here. We have some a live performance. Mr. Peace and my daughter Mallory are gonna be singing the song that's at the end of every one of my episodes, Where'd You Go? And then we have Anthony Greeno, who's gonna be speaking, coming up here, dynamic speaker. And I'm gonna do a closing with a bunch of the victims' families. So stick with us, you guys.
One of the things about murder, you don't think it's ever going to happen to you. But when it does, your whole world comes to a screeching halt. I was working my butt off down in southern Indiana when everything came about with my stepdaughter's murder. And due to the fact that things weren't going the way they needed to be, I had to drop that job and come to work in central Indiana. Well, as far as contacting the FBI and the Peru post up in Peru for the state police, I did that too, and I didn't get help. But here's a letter that I wrote out showing Tipton County and anybody that wanted to read on the live journal that we created what we were dealing with. All the law enforcement agencies involved in this case have point blank refused to conduct a thorough investigation into the evidence of Tabitha's murder. When an investigation was done on her, they refused to pursue the evidence presented to them or investigate clear evidence pointing to criminal misconduct and collusion on the part of the investigating officers. They refused to dispute the evidence, acknowledge the evidence, investigate the evidence, or answer any questions about the evidence. The government of Indiana also refuses to respond to letters of concern or requests to intervene and ask the agencies involved to account for their actions. All they, the governor's office, did was call the ISP, and they quote, I quote, I contacted our Peru post to get more details on this matter. I was advised that the Tipton City Police Department is the lead investigating agency in this case and that our agency assisted them in the investigation. I am further told that the investigators are convinced that those responsible for your daughter's death were arrested and charged. That was theory. There's no facts on, long story in itself on that. That's theory from the prosecution. And that was from Major Larry Turner of the Criminal Investigation Division of the State Police. And then on this post that I put on the live journal, these agencies and public elected officials are assaulting the very principle on which the justice system in this country is founded. Why are they fighting so vigorously to prevent a simple, basic, competent investigation into the evidence of Tabitha's death? Why are they so determined to prevent the truth from being established? Every parent who worries each time their child walks out the door must demand answers in this case. Every citizen who relies on these agencies for the protection of their families must demand answers in this case. Ours and your children deserve better than this. Please contact the Tipton City Police Department or the Indiana State Police Department and Prosecutor Jay Rich and ask them why Tabitha's killers are still not charged in the horrendous, brutal torture, stabbing, shot in the forehead death of a 16-year-old mother. Oh wait, they didn't come forward with the information about her being brutally tortured and stabbed. The only thing they came out with was a single gunshot wound. I've got a ton of information I'd like to stand up here and talk about the 19 years in October, brutal, tortured, covered up murder of my stepdaughter.
Why are you here today?
I'm here for everyone else that hasn't gotten justice and for my son, Charles.
And tell me a little bit about Charles.
He was shot and killed. He was murdered.
Where at?
Muscatine, Iowa.
So did you come from Iowa? Where were you from?
I'm originally from Iowa, but I live in West Plains, Missouri.
How long of a drive is that to Kokomo?
8 hours.
8 hours. So you came 8 hours to support other families that are in similar circumstances as you, right?
Yes.
What do you hope to accomplish by coming here and raising awareness for that? What would you like to see? Would you like to see tips come in, an arrest? What's the goal here?
My goal is to see these families get justice for their loved ones.
What can anybody do to try to help raise awareness for your son?
I would pray that someone would come forward. I did lose 3 sons. The one that really hits home is, I know that God called 2 of them home, but when one's murdered, you don't take a life. You just don't.
It makes it so much worse, doesn't it?
It does.
Especially when you don't know who did it.
I do know who did it. It's just the MPD, when they didn't do their job, it really angers you. This is my son, Charles.
How old was Charles?
He was 25, and he has 2 children that are growing up without their dad.
What do you have to say to the person responsible? Look right at that camera as if it is that person right there and tell them whatever's on your mind. You don't have to filter yourself. Say whatever you want to say.
Shame on you for taking my son's life. I hate you. That's what I get to say.
I want to let you know that I'm in a similar circumstance that you are. And you're going to hear my story when I get up here and speak a little bit later. But I just want to let you know that you're not alone. People care. And I know how you feel. And I'm sorry that you have to go through this, okay?
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
No problem.
It's been 9 years. I've been doing this for 9 years. 9 years of marching, 9 years of being on TV, 9 years of begging and pleading and nobody helping me. Nobody until a few people. But once Lindsay took over, I mean, we rattled cages. We have rattled so many cages. I mean, look, Howard County lawyered up. Why? Why did they lawyer up? Why aren't they talking to us? Yeah, we rattled some cages. And when you guys start with Lindsay in, she's going to rattle your cages too. There's going to be some cages rattling. No, we're rattling cages. That's what this is about. It's a movement. It's a can't stop, won't stop movement. And that's why I wanted it about all these families, not just Tanner today. It's about all of us getting justice. And that's what I want. So this is Tanner's gift to you all. And he wouldn't have wanted it any other way than this. So God bless you all, love you all, and let's just keep pushing and let's get more families and get this movement going and help other families. Because we all know each other's pain, and we know it well, and we're the ones who can support each other. So let's just help other people and let's just do this.
I want to thank everyone for showing up here to support us. It's been a long, hard road. It's something that no parent ever should have to deal with. And our baby deserves her justice, by golly. And that's what we're all here for, is for everybody's justice. And our babies deserve justice for their mommy. Her brother deserves justice for his sister. She deserves her justice because she was murdered by the hands of others that had no right to take our baby. But they did. And now they didn't only take her, they took all of us. they took her. And if it was, these two have saved mine and my husband's life. If it wasn't for them, I think I'd be in a nut house, really, because it's something that you just can't cope with. It's something you relive every day. But I want to thank Can't Stop, Won't Stop Lindsay and everybody here for helping us and for letting Brittany have a voice, because her voice matters. She matters. And her justice matters. And that's what we're here for, is to get justice. Send it to the state, Kokomo!
Send it to the state! We're gonna march right back to where we were. We have Mr. Peace, or Anthony Greeno is actually gonna be speaking. He's gonna put his camera down and he's gonna speak. He's gonna speak. And someone will be up in his face. And then we have a performance that we're gonna have with Mr. Peace and Mallory, and then one final closing that we'll have, and then we'll have time to just connect. And we would love to hear stories. So, all right, Dwayne, let's do this!
We're wondering if anyone would like to come and talk about a couple cases that you guys have going on. It's Captain Banush. I've talked to people only on the phone. Wondering if Banush is available or Teresa Galloway. Oh, I realize the time. I'm just wondering if they were available to come out and just talk about what you guys are doing for the cases that are happening in Kokomo.
Is the OIC, who's the OIC tonight? You are?
Would you like to come out and just
give a comment to us?
Well, we'll wait for you. We'll wait for you.
Please,
sure.
Look, there's a lot of people out here that really
Sure.
want to hear something.
Oh, you're going to close that on us?
Yeah, we're closing up.
Oh, you're closing.
Wow.
Well, you're not closing it just because we're standing here, are you? You're not closing it just because we're here, are you?
No, we're not for us to close up.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're at the Kokomo Police Department. We just asked for either Captain Bush or Assistant Chief of Police Teresa Galloway to come and speak. We have people standing outside who want to hear what they're doing and how they're keeping their community safe. So we thought that we would give them that opportunity to come out here and just make people feel confident about the work that they're doing here to protect and serve.
So we just talked to an officer who is the OIC. He's the officer in charge for today. And he said, give him just a minute. He's on the phone. I think he's on the phone with his supervisors trying to find out what he should do, but we're asking for a statement. And as soon as we ask for a statement, the lady closes the blinds on us. And I said, well, you're not closing the blinds because we're here, are you? And she says, no, we're closing up. So it just looks kind of suspicious when they close the blinds as soon as we walk in here, because she was standing out there and she rushed right in here and grabbed that blind. So we're gonna get some answers one way or next. Here's what I want you to do.
Pick up the phone and ask.
Yeah, pick up the phone and ask. Say, hey, is someone going to come out and talk to us, or do we need to? Should we go tell everybody that there's going to be no comment?
Yeah, hi. I was just wondering if anyone was going to come out and talk to us, or should we go out there and tell everybody that there's no comment? Yeah, we have a protest going on, and we just want a statement from them about what they're doing with the local department, or with the local cases happening, and we have a whole group of people outside that we're just hoping to get a statement from the Kokomo Police Department. And they know we're here, they're just kind of leaving us out here. We just want to know, should we tell them no comment, or is someone going to come out and talk? Yeah, so it's just about I think someone's coming to talk to us. It's about the local or injustices that are happening in different cases here in Kokomo that we want them to give the cases up to the state police.
Is anybody coming?
So she's gonna call there. She's calling them right now, This is her calling them to see if they're going to get an answer for us, if someone's going to come out and talk to us. She said, don't answer it. Hey, can you guys just let us know if you're going to come out or not? Please?
We'd like to give you a media interview.
We're just trying to give you an opportunity to talk to the public and tell them how hard you're working on all of these unsolved murders and missing persons cases. This is an opportunity for you to show them how hard you're working on these cases. And if you're not willing to do that, just let us know and we'll go away. They ignored us. They ignored us.
Detective, can you come out here? Can the officer in charge come out here, please? We're trying to give some people some answers. We'd like to know if you want to do a media request. We just want to know if we should tell them no comment or if we can get some kind of comment from somebody. We have a lot of families out here that have no justice and they just want to know that you're working on the case. Will someone please come give us an answer?
I guess this is proving how they feel about the families.
Yeah, I mean, we're knocking on the door to the police department where they've shut us down. They shut the thing. I mean, knocking on the door. They're standing right back there. I'm filming them through the window.
I try to give them stuff all the time. This is what they do to me.
All right. Well, they've made it very obvious on how they feel about these grieving families.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you for no comment. We're going to go ahead and leave today. And if you'd like to see what we make of this, subscribe to True Crime Investigates and Can't Stop, Won't Stop podcast. On that note, Kokomo Police Department, keep it Southern style. Okay, so Lindsay and I went in there. As soon as we went in there, the receptionist at the police department ran back inside and started to grab the blinds. We asked for, who did you ask for?
I asked for Captain Banush.
Captain Banush.
And Teresa Galloway.
And Teresa Galloway, who's the assistant chief, right?
Yep.
And the officer in charge said, well, they're not here right now. It's too late. So I said, well, who is the officer in charge? And he said, it's me. I said, well, will you come out here and talk to us because we have a lot of grieving families who are needing some answers. We just want to know that you're working diligently on these cases. And he said, give me a minute. And they shut the blinds. And so she picked up the phone about 5 minutes later and got dispatch. And dispatch said, hang on, let me call them. They still didn't come. They pretend like they're not back there, and I'm filming them through the window on the camera, which you're going to see on the video.
Through the corner of
through the corner of the blinds because they closed the blinds. So, to the OIC, thank you for not giving us justice! We want answers here! We want answers! What is going on in Kokomo Police Department where they won't come out here and tell everybody that they're working on a case? This is not justice. We didn't come here to get no answers. We are going to continue to fight for justice for every single one of these families and everybody else that is going to suffer the same loss that every one of these people are here today. Why do they do that? Come on, people. We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! Tell us something! Tell us something! We want justice! We want justice! Come on out, sir! I want to give you a media request. We want to know you're working on the case. Come on! Come on, follow me. Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Hold on, I got you. Captain, come on out here, Captain. I would like to talk to you about the cases. Captain. Come on, Captain. Can you come out here and talk to us? Sir, can you come out here and talk to us? You're a detective, right? I've seen you on the media. I think that I've interviewed you before. Sir, will you please come out here and give us a statement? We want to know that you're still working on the cases like Karina McClurkin, Tanner Barton. We want to know.
Brittany Bell, just let these families know.
That's all we want. We just need some answers if someone's working on the cases. We're not getting any answers, and that's why we're here today. People get hung up on. Sir, please come out here. Cowards.
This is why we say joke 'em out.
We want justice! We want justice! We want justice!
We want justice!
We want justice!
We want justice! Like, they've made it very apparent. We shouldn't have to be begging for this information for them to be coming and speaking for us. They should gladly walk out here and be telling us what they're doing for our families here in Kokomo and keep them safe and serving their community. And they clearly don't want to do that. He literally ran. No, he ran and shut the door. And we were knocking on it again, asking them to come out, asking them. They shut the blinds again. You guys, and so that's, they made it very apparent that they want nothing to say. So our answer, and Donna Bell, I hate to say this, the answer is they aren't doing shit for your daughter, but we are. We are, Donna. We are. And this is proof. This is proof that we need to move your daughter's case to the state.
Hey, thank you very much, everybody, for being here today. When I first heard about this podcast, I actually heard about it from Michelle. And she told me, she said, look, I want you to come to this event. It's kind of along the same lines that you're doing on your channel. For those of you that don't know me, I have a true crime YouTube channel called True Crime Investigates. And I'm originally from Delphi, Indiana, where I'm sure you guys know the double homicide of Abby and Libby occurred. And so that has been a big focus of mine. But I've also covered several other cases. Ashley Morris Mullis, Don Morris and his wife over there, Greeno McClurkin, right over there at Jerry McClurkin, her grandmother, and several other cases. And the reason that I do what I do to try to raise awareness for victims of unsolved crimes is one simple thing. This is my mother. And my mom was murdered in 1996 in Tippecanoe County, which is Lafayette, Indiana. And I was 10 years old. And I didn't know the details at the time, but when I got older, I started to learn more and more and more about what actually happened to my mother. And so I pushed the local police department for answers, just like we did down here. I didn't get any. And so I pushed the state police for answers, and just like over here, I didn't get any. And so I went to the FBI, and I demanded answers. And I sat down with an FBI agent, and I said, what if this was your mom? How would you feel? And he looked at me and he kind of nodded his head down and he said, you know what, son? I'm going to do anything I can to help you. And with his help, the FBI finally reopened the investigation into my mother's death. And they started pursuing it as a criminal homicide investigation. But as time went by, the case grew cold. It had been too long. They didn't give it over to the proper authorities in time. Some of the witnesses had died. Some of the people have moved on, were in prison. People don't remember things after 20-something years. And that really bothered me. And it came to a point where I realized that, you know what, I'm probably never going to get closure in this case. I'm 35 years old, and I still grieve about it as if it happened yesterday. And so what I decided to do was I decided to reach out to families because I believe that I have a gift with videography and put together videos. And because I'm not afraid to go speak, just like Lindsay and Dwayne, I'm not afraid to go speak to the police. I'm not afraid to demand answers. And so what my job is here today is to put together a media presentation for every single one of you out there that are going through the exact same thing that I am. You are not alone. You are never going to be alone. All the feelings that you feel, I felt, each one of these people, Brittany's case, Tanner's case, Egypt's case, we've all felt the same thing. And at times I know that you feel like no one is there for you, no one listens to you, people think you're crazy. You're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist. Let law enforcement do their jobs is what we hear all the time. But if they're not doing their jobs, who's going to do it for them? We are. Because we care, and we will always fight for justice for these people. Over in Carroll County, they got an African American family where 4 young girls were burnt to death in a fire. And what I did was I went because I knew these people my whole life. It's a small community of 3,000 people. Carroll County has 20,000 people at maximum. And it's all older white people. And I'm not saying that every county has racism, but I know these people. And when I went and investigated this case, a fire investigator that I got my microphones on me and my camera, I stuck my phone in my pocket, and I went and asked him, I said, why did you resign from the case after you were caught lying about telling people that the accelerants found in that case, or there was no accelerants found is what he said. But in fact, a private investigator from Michigan found out that there were accelerants found all over the house, and it was impossible to miss. So he quits his job so he doesn't have to answer to the media. So I tracked him down, and I followed him all around town. And when I got him to his truck, I stopped the door from closing. And he turned around and he looked at me and he said, you know what, Greeno? The N-word, they don't last long here.
He said the word.
Yeah, he said the word. He said the word. He said the N-word. Okay, he said they don't last long here. So guess what? I took that video and I sent it to every media source that there was. I sent it to the NAACP because you know what? That's bullshit. And you know what? That fire marshal's son was the fire chief. His name's Adam Randall. Adam didn't have any comment at that time. So I took that video, took it to the Carroll County prosecutor, and I said, you know what? I've got video footage of this guy saying the N-word and talking about 4 young girls who were killed. Arson is murder. And the prosecutor said, come on in for an interview. So I went in for an interview with this prosecutor, Robert Ives, and while I was waiting on him, the brother of this fire marshal, Dennis Randall, his brother's name is John, came out and arrested me for contempt of court. And they put me in jail for 36 days on a 30-day sentence for contempt. I never saw a judge. I was taken to a whole nother county where I sat there for 36 days on a 30-day sentence is what they said. Why was I held 6 extra days? I'll tell you why. Because I had a scheduled media press conference with all the major news outlets in Indiana to talk about that video on the 35th day. They were trying to silence me. The moment after I went to jail, I wrote a letter to each and every one of those people from jail and said, it's too late. I've already got you on video and everybody's got it. Guess what? The prosecutor quit his job and the fire chief quit his job. That is 3 public officials that quit their job because somebody stood up to them, stood up to the tyrants that say that we're working hard on these investigations. They're not working hard. It takes things like this, it takes people like you to stand up for justice and go down to the police department and scream at the mayor and scream at the chief of police and scream at the sheriff and scream to the governor that we want justice and we can't stop and we won't stop. I love these guys. I love him. I love her. Mr. Peace, Mallory. I love every single one of you. And you know what? In August, I'm holding an event very similar to this in Lafayette, Indiana. It's called a March for Justice. We did one down in Muncie with Don Morris. And it was a terrific event. So you may notice these orange shirts around here that people are wearing. Those are from that event. We're going to do it again. And we're going to do it again on August 21st. And there's cards over here that show that event. So if any one of you guys want to come support that event, that's what it's for. We're going to have, I've rented out a location downtown Lafayette. I had to go through the city to get this location. We've got it from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. We've got a set location. It's on the pedestrian bridge in downtown Lafayette, just 1 block away from the courthouse. We're going to march to the courthouse. We're going to march to Purdue University, and we're going to get some serious exposure for all of these cases. And what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to come to that because for free, everything's for free. You can set up a booth like this. You can set up a table. You can put your banners up, and people can come around to you, and you can tell them your story on your case. Who are you highlighting? My son was murdered. My daughter was murdered. Someone is missing. You can tell that story, and I want to present it on a media presentation for the world to see. And I will do it in depth with each and every single one of you. And I want to see everybody here today that's representing a case, contact me. I want to do a story on each and every one of you individually. I'm putting together one big video presentation of this today, but I want each and every one of you individually to feel like you were able to say everything that you wanted to say, because I care about you and I love you, and I will never stop fighting for justice for every single one of you.
Thank you.
That's really all I've got to say, everybody. So thank you very much for having me here. I appreciate you. Yes. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. So I've also, this is Samantha, and she represents Hoosiers Against Human Trafficking. And Samantha has got a petition over here to change the laws on sex crimes. Because did you know that there is a statute of limitation for individuals being charged with a sex crime? If you were sexually assaulted and 10 years elapses and no one's charged for that crime, guess what? He's free. Nothing can happen to him. So you know what? If you don't want a statute of limitations and you want people to have a voice and be able to speak up and say, hey, you know what? I don't care if it takes 50 years for someone who sexually assaulted me. I want justice. Then I want you guys to come over here and I want you to sign this petition. And you can also do it online, but please come over here and sign this petition and voice your opinion, because we need signatures, because we have to do it on a local, state level before we can get it on a national level. So with your help, we're going to put that into effect as a law, and we're going to change that for people who are victims of sex crimes. And I stand with that, and I'm sure every single one of you do.
Yes. You have to be arrested.
And, all right, so we have a performance right now with Mr. Peace and Mallory, so give it up for them, guys. Round of applause.
And that's really what today's been about, and these protests and these rallies is a peaceful, nonviolent approach, right? To try to bring about something that was very, very violent. I have a unique job. I'm a youth speaker. I travel all across this country. I've been to 20 states. I do school assemblies. I've talked to over 1 million students across this nation. I had a second grader come up to me and said, Mr. Peace, I'm kind to everybody. And I said, thank you. She's like, you know what, Mr. Peace, I think I was born kind. And I had to kind of laugh inside, because all of us are born kind. We're all born nice. We have to learn violence. We have to learn hatred. But we can always unlearn that, right? And so I really applaud everybody here. You know, my heart was breaking even prior to Egypt passing. And that was the motivation for this shirt. It says, keep your head up upside down on purpose. So if you look down or feel down, it's a reminder to keep your head up, because I had gone through a series of deaths, 2 grandparents, a couple uncles. I was pallbearer for back-to-back funerals. And a lot of things in my life didn't make sense, and then Egypt. But I just think to myself that sometimes storms have to happen for rainbows to appear, right? And for new life to spring up. There's a story of these cattle in Buffalo, and there's a huge storm coming at them, right? Like tornado type storm. And the cattle are running from it. They're going to have to face it eventually. But the buffalo are going right for it, because they're going to face that storm head on, and they're going to get past that storm quicker, right? They know it's coming. And so when we think about the storms that we've been through and are going to go through, we're human beings, we have billions of nerve endings in our bodies, so we're going to feel pain. We still always have a choice of how we're going to deal with that pain, right? To turn our pain into power, to hopefully turn our pain into greatness, and make sure that these people that died did not die in vain. And so this song, it took on a new meaning after Egypt and I had performed it and written it. It's called Where'd You Go? It's a remix song, and obviously, you know, now she's no longer here physically, but she's here even stronger, right? Because with death, death is gain, and now they can actually be here without any pain in our hearts. And so it lives on through each one of us. So with that, I want to call up Mallory, who is Lindsay's daughter. And she's going to take Egypt's part for this song, Where'd You Go? After we finish too, I'm just going to play a short song that Egypt had sung as a cover to, and let it speak to your heart. This is Where'd You Go?
You know, I don't know why so much pain and loss has to happen. I don't have all the answers.
Where'd you go?
Only he does.
I missed you so.
And
seems like it's been
sometimes the best thing to do is just
trust it. It was back in 04 when Grandpa died and my shirt was soaking wet with tears from my eyes. You tried to calm me down, tried to plead your case, but I just spit that faith right back in your face. And you said, while you may not understand now, somehow, someday, some way you'll find out why it had to be. Yeah, according to his plan, he won't put you through anything that he thinks you can't make it through. With his everlasting love, you may need to scream at the top of your lungs, cause while you think he died at too young an age, it really was his time. There's no reason for rage. He's in a better place now, away from the pain and the stress and the hate and the hurt and the strain. The best way to honor him and his legacy is to live how he did and not questioning.
Where'd you go? I missed you so.
2 fingers up for peace.
Like it's been forever.
And just rock back and forth. Put your arm around someone next to you and just hold them, because we're all in this together, right?
Like it's been forever since you've been gone.
Verse 2. I got the phone call from Grandma Flo and I was like, no, God, no, please no. Tell me it ain't so. Tell me that I'm dreaming. Tell me a way to get rid of all these feelings that I'm now having of anger and fear. I just saw Peyton in June of this year. It wasn't that long ago I gave her a hug and told her I missed her and to stay in touch. She said sure thing, but little did she know those would be the last words coming from her throat that I would hear prior to her death. I'd give anything to hear just half her breath. So give me an hour or even 5 minutes to hold her once more, just one last visit. I want to let her know it'll all be okay, but maybe she already is and there's no need to say.
Where'd you go? I missed you so.
For
Seems
Egypt,
like it's been forever since
for Tanner,
you've been gone.
for Brittany,
Where'd you go?
for Tabitha,
I missed you so.
for
Seems
Karina,
like it's been forever
and for
since
Greeno.
you've been gone. Please come
You know,
back
it's funny, technically you're already home, but it doesn't change the fact that I'll miss you so much, because we crossed paths, and no matter how much time does pass, I always remember of when we first met. You made me feel welcome, taught me how to catch, was never real close, but when it came to life, you pulled me in close to share your insight. What was right and wrong with the world nowadays? Too many people who are stuck in a daze for days and days, sometimes weeks and months. The only way to beat it was to turn your gaze up as well as within while falling to your knees. God, I wish life had some more guarantees, but since it never will and nothing's ever certain, I won't worry where you went, there's no more
Where'd you
burden.
go? I missed you so. Seems like it's been forever since you've been gone. Please come back home.
Oh man, there's a lot of pain.
I wish you,
But love heals all pain, love drives out all fear, that unconditional love. And that's right here. Here in Kokomo, it's here in Indiana, it's here in Michigan, it's here all over the planet, but
it's cool,
it starts in all of our hearts.
I know deep down that you're already home.
Amen.
Peace.